Among the various male stereotypes, Sigma male often finds himself facing a lot of dislike. But why is that? The reason is pretty straightforward. People typically dislike things they can't figure out. Sigma men are like enigmas. They don't go along with the crowd and avoid joining social groups. They prefer standing on their own, being smart and independent. Unfortunately, some mistake their independence for arrogance or being distant. This sets them apart in a not-so-good way, especially in a society that values fitting in and going with the majority. The fact that these men don't care about others' opinions adds fuel to the fire. Even though Sigma males don't actively seek hate or attention, their natural demeanor tends to draw both. Here are 10 reasons why they face so much dislike. 1. He can be brutally honest. Many folks don't like hearing the truth, especially when it's not what they want. They prefer being around people who say what they like, not what they need. The Signal man is different. He doesn't sugarcoat or make things comfy. He speaks his mind, and some folks find it hard to take. Some like his honesty, but it's a double-edged sword. When a Signal guy gives his thoughts, you know he means every word. No beating around the bush or vague compliments. This honesty can be tough for those used to praise, especially from powerful folks. Some people dislike Sigmas because they won't play along with games, but they're not trying to hurt or offend, they just want to get to the point. While this may upset some, it's also what makes others respect them. As a wise person said, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. 2. He bravely goes against the majority. Standing up against the usual way of doing things is never easy, especially when you have to resist pressure from friends and make your own choices. It's a tough task that not many people have mastered. However, Sigma men take the bold decision to take charge of their life. He bravely picks what's important to him and boldly goes against what others expect. He doesn't need approval from others to feel good about himself. Instead of seeking comfort in social situations where he has to fit in, he prefers being alone. Having the bravery to break free from the usual ways is something many people admire but are afraid to do themselves. They dislike Sigma man because he represents everything they wish they could be: independent, confident, and true to themselves. Those who can't be like him may try to bring him down, even though deep down, they secretly wish they could live life the same way. 3. He conceals his emotions. Understanding someone who doesn't show their feelings can be tricky. Signal men, who often keep their emotions hidden, might come across as distant or unfeeling. This can make them seem different from people who express their emotions more openly. Some folks connect being emotional with being human, so when someone doesn't show their feelings, it can be seen as a weakness or a lack of understanding. This can lead others to think that Sigma men are cold or uncaring, and they might not be liked by those who prefer more emotionally expressive individuals. But it's important to know that Sigma males do have emotions. They just choose not to show them openly. They value their privacy and keep their feelings to themselves, which might make them seem unfriendly or untrustworthy to those who don't get where they're coming from. 4. He doesn't accept things just as they seem. Have you ever wondered about what someone really means when they say or do something? Well, that's a daily thing for a Sigma guy. This kind of person doesn't just accept things on the surface. They always try to find out the real reason and true meaning behind what someone says or does. They think for themselves and don't just believe what others say. They make up their own minds by looking closely and thinking carefully. Some people might not like this because they want their ideas to be accepted without question. Sigma guys aren't scared to challenge the way things are usually done and can often see through when people are pretending or hiding something. It's easier for people to dislike someone who questions their ideas than to admit they might be wrong. But for Sigma guys, finding out the truth is more important than just going along with everyone else or trying to make others happy. 5. His loyalty can't be purchased with social standing. The idea of status and how it affects our lives is interesting or sometimes not so great, depending on how you look at it. Almost everyone has been impacted, either in a good way or a not so good way, by the human desire to reach or keep a higher position in society. It's like a lot of people are trying really hard to show off their newest stuff or achievements, hoping to get respect and praise from others. The higher you are on the ladder, the more respect you get. That's why some people will do whatever it takes to be seen as the top dog. But there's more to it than just showing off fancy things. Sigma men don't care about fancy cars or expensive clothes. They know that real value goes beyond just having cool stuff. Others might see them as kind of stuck up for not playing along with what society thinks is important, but really they're just thinking for themselves and not following the crowd. They care more about what's inside a person than how they look, and you can't buy their respect or loyalty with fancy things. 6. People see him as arrogant. When a person is quiet and self-assured, others might think they're too sure of themselves. Sigma individuals often appear calm and composed, which some may interpret as being distant or thinking they're better. Unlike alphas who enjoy being the center of attention and getting praise, Sigma folks like staying in the background, watching and listening. Some might think they're not interested or not engaged, but Sigmas are just more private and careful with their words and actions. They choose to talk when they have something important to say, not just to be heard. This can create a sense of mystery around them, making them interesting and maybe a bit intimidating. When someone feels intimidated or doesn't understand, it's easy for them to say it's arrogance. In our society, we often dismiss what we don't get by giving it a label. We name what we're afraid of and find reasons to explain our own weaknesses. 7. Difficult to understand. People often say, "I can't quite figure him out." This feeling is common when dealing with Sigma individuals. They're complex people, not easily fitting into a specific category. This makes it tough for others to understand what they're thinking or why they do certain things. Sigmas are private and picky about who they let into their close circle of friends, adding to the mystery that surrounds them. Even though they're not trying to be liked or understood by everyone, many women are attracted to their mysterious personality. This doesn't sit well with alpha males who are working hard to impress and catch the attention of women. Sigma individuals are content with who they are and don't feel the need to explain themselves. They value their privacy and independence, and some may see this as a challenge if they're trying to get closer. But for those who are patient enough to uncover the layers, they'll discover a thoughtful and knowledgeable person with unique perspectives and insights. 8. They prefer working alone. Some folks don't get why some people feel happy working alone. Alphas, on the other hand, love group settings and working together. Sigma guys, however, like doing things solo. It's not because they're not into socializing or hate teamwork, it's just how they work best. They're motivated by themselves and don't need others telling them what to do. They can work in a team if needed, but most of the time, they prefer handling tasks on their own. People who value teamwork might think Sigma guys are not cooperative or productive, but in reality, they can achieve just as much, if not more, on their own. Being alone lets them concentrate without any distractions, leading to top-notch work and quick problem solving. While collaboration has its perks, working solo is where Sigma guys push their limits and really shine. 9. Low tolerance for incompetence. The Sigma person gets really bothered when others don't use their brains. They can be patient and understanding with those who really want to learn, but they have little tolerance for incompetence. They set high standards for themselves and want to see others giving their best effort. Making mistakes and learning from them is fine. Lacking experience is okay, but being lazy or complacent is not. Nobody is perfect, but you can easily notice the difference between someone trying and someone not. This impatience with incompetence may seem like arrogance, but it's really just their frustration at seeing potential being wasted. Not everyone wants to put in extra effort and prefers an easy life, but that's not how Sigma individuals operate. They always aim for improvement, even if it means stepping out of their comfort zone. 10. They are self-motivated to work harder. Ever wonder why some people do really well and seem like superheroes in what they do? What makes them successful? It's not luck or some hidden trick. Sigma men say it's self-motivation. They aren't naturally lazy. They just need to find what they're passionate about. Once they do, they become super achievers, doing things that might seem impossible. But it's not just about getting motivated. Sigma males also need the freedom to chase their goals their own way. They don't like being bossed around or tied down by unnecessary rules. When they get to do things their way, they become super productive and successful. Their motivation comes from inside, and once they tap into that inner drive, nothing can stop them. Some people might feel uneasy when others do better than them, especially if their attention is on something else.